It's a white guy that killed an unarmed black youth holding Skittles and an iced tea. What do you say to that?
Again, I appreciate you not rushing to judgment. I think that people assumed I was white because of my last name. My father's Caucasian, my mother's Hispanic, but English was my second language, believe it or not. My grandmother and my mother raised me. My dad was in the Army, and he wasn't home for a lot of my infancy, so I consider myself, first of all, an American, but a Hispanic American, and I don't think it's fair that they rush to judgment to assume that.
Do you feel the overwhelming majority of media rush to judgment?
Yes.
With few exceptions?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. I want to go back to one specific in the case, if I can. And it's the issue of you following him. And I asked you earlier about the dispatch call, and you said you stopped. You didn't follow him. There's one moment that you were apparently, as you look at the grounds of where this took place, and there's the apartment, and there's the overhangs, and then there's another street on the other side, and you had gone to the other street, correct?
Yes, sir.
At some point. So how do you get to the other street if you're not following him? I mean, where were you going at that point?
I was walking from where I had parked my car towards my street. He went right down in between the houses. I walked straight across
But in that sense, were you following him?
No, sir.
You weren't following him?
No, sir.
And this is after the 911 call? During the 911 call?
When they stated, we don't need you to do that.
So why were you walking back to your street and not back to the car?
I was
at that point. If I'm trying to get the chronology right.
Certainly. Where I had parked my car was the back of townhouses. There was no way to know what the street number was. And I knew if I walked straight through, it's a circle, Retreat View Circle. I knew if I walked straight through to there, that would be Retreat View Circle, and then I could tell them exactly what 1, 2, 3, 4 Retreat View Circle, and not just a general area of where my car was like I had done previous.
I asked you if you could speak to Trayvon Martin's family. I asked you if you could speak to even the American public. There's so many people that have so many opinions that vary so much. You know, if you wanted to look into that camera and tell the American public something about George Zimmerman and about this case with Trayvon Martin that has gotten such media attention, what would you want to tell them?
First, I'd like to readdress your question when you asked if I would have done anything differently. When you asked that, I thought you were referring to if I would not have talked to the police, if I would have maybe got an attorney, if I wouldn't have taken the CVSA, and that I stand by. I would not have done anything differently. But I do wish that there was anything I could have done that wouldn't have put me in the position where I had to take his life. And I do want to tell everyone, my wife, my family, my parents, my grandmother, the Martins, the city of Sanford, and America, that I'm sorry that this happened. I hate to think that because of this incident, because of my actions, it's polarized and divided America, and I'm truly sorry.